for freedom. We're here for choice. Yeah. Look for Paul Jara. You're gonna be surprised. Okay, keep rocking, people. Freedom. My heart.
Pro-choice. Hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. You're not allowed to have Vegemite sandwiches. It has to be honey. For we are the government. You must eat what we tell you. You're not allowed to eat that. You can only eat what we tell you to eat. Thank you, sir.
All right, there's all the government. One of these.
We will stop this tyranny spell and we'll get ya. We're gonna get ya.
Right, greetings everybody. How are we all today? Welcome to Courage is the Cure live on, well, many different platforms, particularly on Facebook, and really the first time on YouTube with a guest. So hello everybody, and thank you all for joining myself and my guests, who I will introduce shortly. Now, we opened the show there this evening, well, this afternoon, depending where you are, morning in Sweden, with Paul Jara, who is from Austria and is a great freedom fighter here in Western Australia, and also Hang Loose Recluse. He's also a wonderful freedom fighter and a independent content creator on YouTube. So go along and have a look at Paul Jara and Hang Loose Recluse. They are wonderful. And so, of course, in Paul Jara's clip there, we had nothing but the truth. So my wonderful guest here today, one of the reasons why I particularly like to watch his channel is because with this guest, that's what we get, is nothing but the truth. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring on this wonderful person. It is Stefan from SANITY for Sweden. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this software, so you've all got to be very kind to me. I do mandate that here today. You be all kind. I'm going to bring on Stefan from SANITY for Sweden. So hi, Stefan, how are you?
Hello, Robin. Nice to be here. Thank you for doing this. Fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to have you here with me. I've got to tell you right now, there are so many comments here. I actually can't keep up with them because I have to click them to show them, and I can't keep up. So I'm trying to do a million things at once at the moment. But what a pleasure to have you here, Stefan. Thank you very much. So it is morning time in Sweden, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I got up very early today, and I managed to do a video before this one. Sometimes I just wake up very early, and it's I don't know why. It's just a lot of energy, and something comes to my mind, and I can't go back to sleep. So this morning I got up at I think 4:30. No.
Well, that's one of the things about your show, Stefan, SANITY for Sweden. So I just asked you before how long you've been on YouTube. So it is 7 years on YouTube. And with SANITY for Sweden, correct me if I'm wrong, but you post every day. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, more or less. If you know, more or less every day for 7 years. That's true.
And the way I described it in the description is that you have very loyal subscribers on your channel, and they do tune in every day to watch you present topical news items, give your opinion, and ask your viewers questions as well to prompt them to think. Would that be a reasonable description of what you do over on Sanity for Sweden?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's quite a mystery to me actually how people can keep watching every day. Because when I watch somebody, I get sort of tired of them after a while. Something will annoy me, so I don't really get it. But of course, I have these this fantastic comment section. Well, that's what I think. Very educated people, smart people with and I get lots of ideas from viewers. So I think it's just fantastic. I never expected this when I started talking, but this has been sort of the cream of making these videos. It's the connection that I find with all these very smart people, a lot of and funny. Very often when I read the comments, I laugh out loud. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
That's great.
Do you have a similar experience with your viewers?
Yes. Yes. There is one video in particular on my channel. It's a video about Klaus Schwab, and that video particularly has a lot of comments, and those comments, given it is about Klaus Schwab, still make me giggle because even now people comment sporadically, but at the time there was a lot of comments, and most certainly the people have a great sense of humor. So yeah, they do do make me laugh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
Right, that's good.
about sorry, Stefan, did you want to say something?
Well, I think that's just fantastic. You're getting some of this, and you get more of it. I think it depends on who you are, really. If you're like this stiff reporter of the news, that's maybe that's the type of comments you will get. Maybe, I don't know. But if you have a sense of humor and you see the comedy in what is happening, and then you get a lot of very good, funny comments. It's fantastic.
Well, you have to have a sense of humour because through this palaver, otherwise we would most certainly go insane. Now, talking about our viewers on YouTube, I have a code when I talk on YouTube because, of course, censorship is a great thing, and YouTube have very vague guidelines which always manage to get people into trouble. And so, yes, I do have a code. And for one word in particular, my code is badge. That is JAB backwards, badge.
I see.
Yes. And I know you have a code for badge. What's the code that you use?
I call it the tea. That's right.
So people drinking the tea, or many cups of tea.
How many cups of tea and so on. Right.
So
and I have to regularly explain this because there are new viewers coming in, and I see comments like, what about all these people drinking tea? What's the problem?
I never knew tea was so bad for you. Yeah. But
Right.
that's YouTube for you, isn't it? That's the censorship.
Beautiful platform, YouTube, isn't it? They are doing such a fantastic job with their creators. These creators made YouTube into what it is, and now they are telling us what we can say and what we can think. It's fantastic. They are admirable, to
Well,
say the least.
they're part of the Ministry of Truth, I think, aren't they? Something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good on them.
But we have to be nice because we are on YouTube at the moment, aren't we? So YouTube, wonderful platform, and actually, you know, there are so many people watching us on YouTube. So thank you to all the viewers watching us right now, and for all of your comments. It's really wonderful. I know from watching your channel that you do talk about Australia a lot. Now, for anybody watching that doesn't know, I am in Perth, Western Australia, on the west coast of Australia, Western Australia. And Stefan, you do talk about Australia a lot. And I first came upon your channel because you spoke about the umbrella people here in Western Australia. I might just describe quickly. The umbrella people are a group of people that started standing outside of Government House on St. George's Terrace well over 12 months ago now, because the governor can dissolve our tyrannical government and call for a new one. And so the umbrella people stand outside Government House with umbrellas every single day from 8 till 10, hoping to speak to the governor. We have had 2 governors in the time they've been doing this, and during the second governor's reign, which he is still upon that throne, if you like, we have started to have a number of arrests because they want to get rid of the umbrella people. They don't like them standing there, and trumped up ridiculous false charges of stalking the governor's wife. So, Stefan, you did talk about that on your channel. Are you able to talk about any of the comments that you had or feedback from your viewers about that?
Yeah, that's what happened. I got an email, I remember this very well, from a couple, from a lady writing, and she talked about the umbrella people, and she just asked me to look into it, which I did. And I just liked them, the people. I saw a couple of videos, and I just liked the people who were standing there with their umbrellas, and the how persistent they were. I just loved it. And then I found out what the governor and what the government was doing, and it was such. And I just got pissed off, of course. These pathetic idiots, doing this and arresting people, and I saw some cop doing. It was just awful. So I talked about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to show some footage of the arrests. There's been we lost count at 8 now. The majority of people that are standing outside Government House, they're probably 50 years and older. So they're not, they're just peacefully standing there. So I did consider showing some of the footage of the arrests. I decided not to. People can go along to Max Freedom. Max Freedom is right here watching right now. Hi, Richie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hi,
Please
Max.
go along to Max Freedom on YouTube, and you can see the videos, particularly from December last year, of what the police have been doing illegally by arresting these people and giving unlawful move-on notices. Richie from Max Freedom has some incredibly powerful videos. So if anybody wants to see the story about the umbrella people, and it's still ongoing, please go along to Max Freedom and check out those videos and all his other videos as well. He's an amazing content creator and videographer and drone extraordinaire person as well. So please go along to Max Freedom. But I just wanted to bring up the Umbrella people, give a bit of an update that they're still there. They are relentless. The police have backed off a little bit. Somebody did get a move on notice yesterday though, but they are still there. And they are certainly not going to succumb to this tyrannical government that we have in Western Australia. And I wanted to say thank you to you, Stefan, for talking to the world about the Umbrella people, because it's so important to share these stories.
Well, my pleasure, absolutely. You know, I guess when I started to hear about what's going on in Australia, it just touched me. You know, I felt so bad about it. As I started to look into it and I started to talk about this. This is one of the perks with doing videos, because I get to speak my mind every morning. And Australia has been absolutely awful. Your government, your governments, your governor, or you call them premiers, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
It's well, it's been like a freak show, I think.
Yeah.
I've never seen such clowns, and what they thought they could do. It's just mind blowing. So
absolutely. Well, it's funny you bring up our premier and McClown, because his name is Mark McGowan and he does get referred to as McClown.
yeah,
and a little later on, we do have a little bit of special footage of Mark McGowan, our illustrious premier. So I can't wait to show that, actually. It's going to be quite great. But I want to ask you, Stefan, before this cold and flu situation, bullshit, began, I'm just wondering what you were doing before all of this started.
well, actually, I started talking about my art. I did videos, silly videos about my art, and I started to like it. And then Brexit came in the UK, the
Yes.
debate around Brexit, and I looked into this, and I got so angry and upset about what was going on. And I learned about the EU, and I felt, okay, I have to say something. You know, I don't care if anyone listens. I just have to talk about this. So that's what started it. I was always like different, you know. I never really agreed with media. I was skeptical to hospitals and authorities all my life, I think. So when the EU, when I understood what the EU was, I got worried really about the future, and I just had to talk about it. So that's the start of it. What about you? How did you get into this?
Well, before the cold and flu situation, I was a teacher for 15 years. I taught English in many different countries. And then I moved to Germany and spent a number of years in Germany raising my family. And then we relocated to Australia, and I went back to work as an EA. So that's an education assistant. I wanted less responsibility and I wanted to be casual so that I could still be as active as I could in my son's life. That's very important to our family. And then pretty soon after, I went back doing that, which I love doing because I get to work with children with learning disabilities and help them achieve their goals, which is one of my passions. Very soon after that, I was stood down because I refused to comply and I didn't want to be badged. And so then I found the Perth Freedom Movement. And then pretty soon, the health department was sending vans up to primary schools to badge them at school. So I decided enough was enough, and I got some pamphlets together and went and stood outside schools on public property, not school property, and started handing out pamphlets, talking to parents, and filmed it. And that's when I started my channel. And that was inspired by Michael Griffith from Cafe Locked Out. We are streaming to Cafe Locked Out right now because I heard him say a wonderful, two phrases: fear is the virus and courage is the cure. And that resonated with me. That always was in the back of my mind. And when they started badging the children, I thought courage is the cure, and went out to the schools. So that was what I was doing before, and this is what I'm doing now. And I think our children need us more than ever.
This is fantastic. What a great story.
Yeah. So that's and that's the great tragedy of what's happening in the world right now is most adults have common sense, you would think, and can make their own decisions. But our children need our guidance, and that's the real tragedy right now, which really motivates me.
I agree. It's terrible what the kids they have no saying, and they listen to the parents, and it's terrible.
So I'm just wondering, in Sweden, when this all kicked off, because we had mandates for masks, mandates for work, mandates for travel, kids couldn't go to the playgrounds, all this sort of stuff. People lost their jobs, lost their houses, everything. I'm wondering what it was like in Sweden when all of this kicked off.
Well, it was different in Sweden, as I think most people know. We had somebody in charge of health here in Sweden who was actually sane. And, it's a relative term, isn't it? But he was. I would say he was. And he said, no, we shouldn't have any rules on this. And he was talking about natural immunity.
That's unusual.
It was, and I thought this was how it was supposed to be, right? And then I understood this was unique for the world. And he had this powerful position, and the politicians, they respected him, and it was, and there were also laws here in Sweden that stopped them from, making these restrictions, having restrictions on people. So we had a very different. So all we got was recommendations in the beginning. So we had this stupid health agency people. They said, "Well, we recommend this," and a lot of people got scared, of course. And of course, we had the same situation with media as I think you had. So people got very worried, and they started to mask up. And when the tea came, they most of them took it. I think it was like 83% took the first 2 cups of tea. So of course the people reacted the same, but it was different. And then this guy was replaced.
Funny that.
Yeah, it's funny, wasn't it? Right. and then they changed it, and we actually got the passport quite late. We got the passport, so people couldn't go to concerts or all kinds of stupid restrictions came.
Mm.
But, mm,
Yeah, I'm interested to know what these laws are restricting. I guess the tyrannical intrusion on everybody's life in Sweden, because I know certainly here in Australia, our constitution says that, and like our ex-prime minister during the bullshit, said that he didn't mandate anybody because he couldn't, because our constitution protects us from that. But the premiers in each state could do whatever they wanted to, and indeed they did. So our constitution did not protect us at all. That's one of my big one of my things that still a stone on my shoulder is that our constitution did not protect us, and our premiers did whatever they wanted to everybody. Yeah, so was it a similar situation in Sweden with were your state leaders respecting a Swedish constitution, or how did that work?
yes, in the beginning they did.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that they couldn't do it. It was against the law to do it, to restrict
Mm-hmm.
people's freedom and sort of force them basically to drink it. But then they changed, and they made this temporary law, emergency kind of law, quite late. This came here in Sweden, and this made it possible for them to introduce the passport. And I remember this guy, Scott Morrison, right?
Yeah, Scott Morrison, that's right.
I remember he said he had nothing to do with it. He didn't do anything. What a jerk this guy was.
Yep.
But I know he did. And I saw this clip where he talked about mandatory and restrictions. Yeah. So he tried to backpedal
Absolutely.
on this, which is a good sign. I think he understood what went wrong here, or something about it. I think he did, and he didn't want to be part of it. He didn't want to be responsible for it.
Yeah. Well, I just watched a video today. It's by a channel in England called We Have a Problem. And his upload today was about Mr. Justin Trudeau. And he's telling everybody that he never mandated anybody in Canada. And so, of course, We Have a Problem channel has brought up clip after clip after clip after clip of Justin Trudeau saying it is mandated because blah, 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 blah. It is mandated if you want to go on a train, a plane, a bus, it is mandated, and it's just clip after clip after clip. So, these politicians must think we all have rocks for brains, honestly. It's just madness.
This guy is a piece of shit, this Trudeau guy. Actually, I think I did a list some time ago of the most despicable leaders that we have, and I think it was close between Dan Andrews and Justin Trudeau. Jacinda Ardern maybe was there, but I think Justin Trudeau takes the prize. He did on my list, at least. He's a clown, but he's like an evil clown, isn't he? He's one of these clowns which will scare you because this guy is evil too. But the way he talks,
I think it is a neck and neck there with Dan and Justin. I mean, Justin, I remember, froze the truckers' accounts when people were donating for the convoy. And then we had Dan. We had people going on the streets of Melbourne with these beer cat vehicles, cops in full riot gear and shooting rubber bullets at people, and at the Shrine of Remembrance, shooting rubber bullets at people. So I don't know, Dan, Justin, it's a bit of a hard choice there about, top tyrants of, the past couple of years. But,
Well, we'll see who's going first. They are still there, which is like magic. These people are still in these positions.
That's right.
Jacinda Ardern, she left, right?
Yeah.
And that was very positive, I felt. And then you had Nicola Sturgeon in Scotland left. It matters, when these really evil clowns go. It matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was happy about the whole thing that's been going on. I think it's actually more positive than you might think, because I see this amazing change now with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to, I thought about this for quite some time, that maybe this had to happen, because we sort of our societies were going slowly down the drain, becoming worse every day, and something had to happen to shake people up. And I'm starting more and more to look at this from a positive view and think that, well, this had to happen, because I see this fantastic change now. Not just that people are starting to understand that our leaders are corrupt and evil, and these power structures, people understand these power structures. There's so much else going on at the same time. It's just, this awakening is sort of expanding all the time. It's getting into more things, like like for instance, food.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to ask questions about food and what's with the food. Something is, what do they put in this stuff? Maybe I have to look at this. Maybe I have to take some responsibility for what I eat too,
Mm-hmm.
for instance. So it's like expanding, and I think it had to happen.
Yeah. I have a short clip here, because I can see there are quite a number of people from Cafe Locked Out here watching as well. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching. I do have a short clip here from your channel, Stefan. It's from a couple of days ago about Swedish parents swimming. And so I'm going to pop that up on the screen, just for people that perhaps are not subscribed to your channel, which is atrocious, and shame on you. I'm going to play that so we can see a little bit from your channel, and also have a little bit of a discussion about this. So let's just get this up here.
No, here in Sweden, if you want to get your child teed out, you can't do it. The health agency stopped recommending it for children. So you can't do it for your child. Right. Now, listen to this. Many, that's what the report said, many, I don't know how many, parents here in Sweden, they go to other countries with their children to get them the tea. Now, the government, when they got to know about this, they didn't like it. So now they are looking at this possibility. If the parent pays for it themselves, it's been free, of course, the tea has been free. And now, if the parents pay for it, okay, then they will get it for their kid. I have some recommendation. I have a recommendation for these parents. If you're listening, any of you, you put on some very heavy clothes, and then you go down to the sea, and you start swimming, and you keep swimming just out there, and you keep swimming until you are really, really tired. And then you turn back. That's my recommendation. And leave your kids on the shore. Okay? They can watch you swim. That's my recommendation.
That was fun.
I have a very sort of black book sense of humor, so that made me giggle when I watched that.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks for showing it. That was a surprise. Yeah, it was fun.
that's my sense of humor. But unfortunately, and the other day you were commenting that you were getting bored waiting for people to wake up. And so just like in that video, you've got people, people go shopping overseas for plastic surgery, or they go shopping overseas for, to get new teeth and all this sort of stuff. And now we have people shopping for badges. Just combining those two thoughts of, we have information out now, even lamestream media are drip feeding it about these badges, and, people can join two dots about how dangerous they are. But we've got people now, as you've talked about, that are shopping overseas for badges. Why do you think it is that we have a great proportion of people that are stuck in this COVIDian cult, and they just can't seem to wake themselves up from it, or, be shook out of it? What do you think it is about people?
Wow, what a question. Well, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wonder about this thing. What's wrong with people? I think this is also part of this awakening. We are realizing that we are not similar. It's like we look around and we see these people doing this, just obeying everything, trusting everybody, and we wonder what's wrong, what's happening, who are these people? It's like there are two races on Earth, two different races,
Yeah.
reacting so differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it. I have no answer. I've been talking about it. I think they are lazy, they are cowards, they are stupid. But I know a lot of these people that I know, I had respect for them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were, good people, decent people. And they totally bought this whole thing. And it didn't matter what I said or anyone said about it. They just, of course, this experiment. Yes, I want to be part of this. Absolutely. It's fantastic. So I don't know what's the matter with these people.
Yeah, I have a thought about it. We have this cognitive dissonance, so if people are presented with an idea that conflicts with one that already exists in their mind, they have trouble thinking about it, that smoking's bad for you, but people still smoke, right? So you can either change your behavior, ignore it, or make accommodations for it. And in order to change your behavior and even to make accommodations, it requires work, not only within your own mind, but you've got to change behaviors, physically, everything that you do. It requires work on many different levels. And I think, as you've just mentioned, people being lazy, probably, it's easy to slip into, the thought that the government's going to take care of everything for me. I don't really have to do anything. I think people are just afraid of the work, because it does take someone to draw a line in the sand and to make a decision to do something different. And that kind of work, I think, frightens a lot of people. And that's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise my mind explodes when I try to think about it, why people just don't want to see it, because it's all there now. There's no excuse. It's online. Even if you only do 10 minutes of, rabbit hole diving online, you can see plain as day, So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, the work. I agree. Another one that I thought about a lot is this fear people have of being different. So when all the celebrities, all media, all the authorities said the same thing, and people started to say the same thing, this is what you need to do. People are worried about being different and standing up to a crowd. So cowardice, I think, is part of it. I know a lot of people actually who just took it because their friends said so. They didn't take it to stay well.
Yep.
They just did it because their friends said so.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's got something to do with it. It's very strange. Now, a lot of them are now starting to realize. I remember this guy that I know, and he took the first two, what do you say, badges?
Badges, yeah.
Badges. He had the first two badges, and his girlfriend, who's a friend of mine, didn't. And, they couldn't talk about it, basically. But he turned around, and there was a friend of his who asked him if he had the fourth badge. Did you have the fourth badge yet? And this guy said, do you still believe in this crap? No. So that was great. I love this.
So I'm going to sticking on the same subject, but I'm really wanted to play this footage now. Here in Australia and New Zealand yesterday, it was Anzac Day. And so for anybody outside of Australia and New Zealand, Anzac Day is Australian New Zealand Army Corps. It's a day which we remember and honour fallen soldiers and soldiers who have returned from the multitude of wars and conflicts that we've been a part of. And so yesterday was a very special day. The 2 previous years was awful because I think it was not last year, but the year before, there was no celebrations because apparently, if you went outside, you were going to make everybody sick. And then last year, you had to show a passport, a badge passport, which was disgraceful. We had veterans who fought for freedom showing badge passports. What a disgrace. And so yesterday we had Anzac Day celebrations. We didn't have any of those restrictions. It was all the fanfare was there, all the diggers, the soldiers were there, lots of people marching in the streets. It's quite a conflicting day because, of course, we have a huge respect for our veterans. But considering what's happened over the past couple of years, certainly the people within the freedom movement have a big problem at the moment because our leaders who stand there and pretend to honour our veterans, fallen or still with us, it's kind of hypocritical. It's really a situation which there's a lot of questions around. And so yesterday I was in the city with Max Freedom, who I just mentioned. He has a great video of our Premier Mark McGowan on his channel yesterday. Go and check it out. And I did get up nice and close and personal with Mr. McGowan as well. Mr. McGowan is our Premier here in Western Australia. So I'm going to go and play this footage for everybody to have a look. It's very short, but I want to play it and ask a question. So here we go. Let's add that to the stream. From the vaccine? What about the fallen, the jab injured? The fallen from the vaccine?
It's the elephant in the room. Everyone knows it.
So there is Mark McGowan after the ceremonies, taking pictures with the public and surrounded by security, mind you. Asking him, Max was asking him about the increases in deaths, which are not normal, and of course about the fallen from the badges, which I raised my voice and asked a question. But my question is, certainly our leaders, just like Mr. Mark McGowan here in Western Australia, don't seem to care one little bit about the perceived collateral damage of these badges. And particularly, there's parts of the public. I mean, we've just been talking about people that remain in this hibernation state. My question is about the public now. I feel like there's a large proportion of the public that don't care about this collateral damage, the injured, the people that aren't with us anymore because of this third phase trial drug. Why do you think people don't care about this, unintended collateral damage of the badges?
I think it's like the three monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I think honestly they are very uncomfortable about this whole thing. And I think they have a situation. They have a huge problem because if they start talking about it, they would let their whole profession down. All these predecessors who did this and all who are doing it now, it's like a big club, right?
Which we aren't part of.
What?
Which we aren't part of. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think they are very nervous and uncomfortable about this thing. And they basically can't talk about it. They can't admit it because it would be devastating for them. I mean, what would you think happen if somebody like your premier in Australia suddenly came out and said, "Okay, I realized this. We did a big mistake here, and people are dying and people are injured, and it's just terrible." I mean, can you imagine the consequences?
Yeah.
For him
Absolutely.
or her and all the others. It would be terrible. It would be like suicide.
Well, it's funny
I
now
think they are just very good at hiding the whole thing with their expression and show no emotions. But I think in their hearts they are very uncomfortable. That's my take on it. And maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think it's true. If I was a leader, one of them, I would be very nervous about this.
Well, I would hope, if we assume that they are loving, kind, compassionate humans, yes. But sadly, I think sociopaths and psychopaths can sleep easily at night because they have no compassion or sympathy or anything of those attributes towards other humans. So I don't know. Are our leaders a bunch of sociopaths? Who knows? But I think they have to have.
I think a lot of them are actually, but there must be some decent people in there.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that they just can't talk about it among themselves. Even nobody will bring it up because it's too sensitive.
Yep.
And the consequences of bringing it up, and it's just too much for them. But this will change. I like the clip, by the way, especially the guy on the right. You know, the guard.
Yeah,
You see him
in his
when,
jacket.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you saw the expression on his face. He looked he looked interested. You know, what's
Mm.
going on here? This is interesting.
Yes, he had all sorts of special forces around him, obviously regular police and yeah, all sorts of people there yesterday. It was quite interesting, very interesting. But yeah, Mr. Mark Gowan is a stain on West Australian history. And he has a lot to answer for. And I can't believe he has, well, I do believe he has still such a huge fan club in this state. Well, yeah, he does. And same as Dan Andrews, he was voted back in again as well. But you know, it just means that these people can't run away and disappear into the nether. Which would lead me to ask you, do you think any of these tyrants, whether they're our state leaders or people like Fauci or Schwab, might be held accountable one day?
Actually, no, I don't think so. They will protect each other.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But you never know, right? This is it's a very big situation. Of course, it's the worst crime against humanity imaginable. So it's possible. You know, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
one thing that is going on is with the people, of course. That's where the real change is happening. And one thing about that clip that you showed, was it Max who asked the question?
Next freedom. Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, I realized that, you know, we are turning into the cool people. Right? These people aren't cool anymore. Oh, it used to be like, oh, they have these positions and titles and everything. Oh, and all these people in media and all these celebrities, oh, they are the cool people. Now we are turning into the cool people because we stood up for ourselves and for humanity, and you know, we don't have all their money and resources. We don't have these big organizations, but we are turning into the cool people. So this is I think that's the important one of the important changes that we see, and it's just part of the awakening, which I said, you know, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This awakening, when people realize that they have been lied to, and then they start looking into the food situation, they look into media, and they realize they have to do things themselves. Maybe for the first time they understand, you know, nobody's really taking care of me. I have to take care of my health myself. You know what a big change this is from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool people.
Yep. Well, and like we started off with the clip from Paul Jarrah, Nothing But Truth. We're the cool people who don't get paid by, you know, a couple of people who run a couple of corporations who then have their hands in everybody's pies to make everybody lie. We're not involved in that. So, yeah, it is nothing but truth. And was it cool truth people? Is that what we could say? I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting you talk about the change with people. I know certainly in Australia we have a lot of different groups having at the moment. We have Reignite Democracy Australia. We've got the Light Newspaper Australia. It's a new independent newspaper that reports the truth, you know, things that mainstream media won't even poke a stick at it. what's going on in Sweden? What are people doing as far as getting together and making plans for the future and moving forward in a positive way?
Yeah, I'm very happy about what happened in Sweden, because when they introduced the passport, there was this big gathering quite quickly, and we had one of the biggest protests in Swedish history. And relatively speaking, it was pretty mild here in Sweden, so I was very proud of this, happy about this. So, but I think I heard that you have a similar situation in Australia that we have here in Sweden. It's like these freedom organizations are sort of divided, and that they badmouth each other. So, and this is a situation, I think it's a problem that we have here in Sweden. Now, one organizer say that, oh, these people over there, they are controlled opposition, and then we don't unite as we easily could.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one situation that we have that I really don't like. And I think you have a similar situation in Australia. I know they have it in the UK. So when somebody is organizing a protest or some event or action, they don't get the following that they should get because of this division that is going on. And I think this is the work of the governments and the authorities. They are actually working on this to make us divided. It's a sad thing. But I'm very positive, optimistic about Sweden, actually, because I know if they try something new, similar, I know there will be a strong reaction.
Yep. Yeah, I know certainly on Cafe Locked Out, Michael often asks about, particularly with, the different groups that have sprung up, and they all have different motivations and different things they're working towards. But essentially, what we're all doing is for the same thing, and that's, for our children and for freedom. And to expose these tyrannical people and freedom of speech. This thought of the new architects of our future. Do you have hope for the new architects of Sweden? What do you see in the future of Sweden with what people are doing over there?
Well, like I said, I'm quite optimistic. I think it will be sort of organic. It will when they try the next thing, which will come, I'm sure. There will be a gathering. People will get together, and some kind of leaders will spring up from this, and we will see a strong, very strong reaction, depending on what they do, of course. But I know that there's a lot of people here in this country now who are pissed off about what happened. And a lot of them are waking up to a lot of stuff. Not just this thing that happened during the last 3 years, but also all the other stuff that is going on. Right. With gender, for instance, or the climate hysteria. It sort of all connects because this agenda is pushed on to people, and I think people are becoming a bit more spiritual. They are. I think it's leading to them asking questions. What is this? What's going on? It's not what I thought it was, right? Yep. So what is going on, and who am I?
Yeah, do you see it as an attack on humanity, of a kind of spiritual war that's going on? Do you see it like that?
Yeah, I think this is at the bottom of it, because this is my idea. Something happened here maybe late 80s, 90s, people started to become interested in these questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? What's going on here? You know, and can I reach higher levels and stuff, right?
Yep.
And I think this started the counterattack from the globalists, because this is well, they fear this, of course. If people become more aware, taking more responsibility for themselves and for others, well, this is dangerous for them, because it's hard to control people who are aware of who they are and what's going on. So I think that's what was triggering them to speed it up. It's just an idea that I had.
Yep. Yeah, I think particularly with all this other stuff going on, I mean, there's a lot of topics headlining at the moment, you know, on TikTok and all this sort of stuff about, you know, the dud beer person and all, you know, all this sort of stuff. And, you know, it's all a big distraction. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these things, I think, try to take God out of our lives. Now, whether you want to talk about it being God or, you know, spirituality or, you know, whatever it is for you, I think there's definitely an attack on all of us spiritually to make us fearful, make us feel powerless, that we can't do anything about it, and, you know, all this sort of negativity. So I think it's really important that we try to discern what is a distraction, what is their motive, and sort of not get bogged down with all this, you know, nonsense, and try to keep moving forward, because ultimately, you know, our children and our grandchildren rely on all of us to ignore the rubbish and keep moving forward. That's my opinion, my conspiracy allegedly, but yeah.
What do you see for the Australian future? What do you think is going to happen? Are you optimistic or?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. The people I was with yesterday, because I was filming our illustrious Premier, Mr. Mark McGowan, also our Mayor, Basil Zemplis, and our Governor, Chris Dawson, who was our previous Police Commissioner, the COVID Commander. You know, having all three of those people in the same sort of 2 square meters, and being able to film them together like that was quite made me quite emotional. Some might say that I harbour a bit of anger still, but I am hopeful. I have to be, and particularly with all of the wonderful people I've met in the freedom movement, such as yourself, Stefan, who just keep saying nothing but the truth, not getting bogged down with political correctness or lies, and not being dissuaded by fear campaigns. That does give me hope, because there are a lot of people that are trying to speak nothing but the truth and move forward positively. So, you know, I don't think you know, the most positive, glorious outcome we would all love will happen when we want it to. You know, we can ask God for things all the time, but it's always on his timeline, and I think this is the same thing. But I do have hope, and as long as we keep working together with the communities that we've built all around the world, I think that puts us in good stead. It would be a real tragedy if we neglected the communities that we've built and let them sort of fizzle out into the shadows. I think that would be a real shame. So I think it's really important that we all stay connected and keep growing, and whatever it is that your particular group or your particular community is focused on, full steam ahead with that, and hook up with other groups and all that sort of thing. So I think, just keep moving forward, and we have to be positive, because there are too many good people for the darkness to envelop all of us. So yeah, I am hopeful. We just have to stay strong and keep moving forward, I think. So yeah.
I'm also quite optimistic about Australia, actually. Not that I was never there. I would love to go to Australia, but I see you have some things that we don't have. You have senators, for instance, that are quite remarkable people.
Yes.
We don't have them here. No, they are all quiet. Maybe they are there, but they are quiet. But you have people, like Pauline Hanson. How do you like her?
Yeah, I mean, Pauline Hanson most definitely says things and fights for the working class Australian. We also have Malcolm Roberts, Senator Malcolm Roberts, Rennick, Antic
Rennick.
in South Australia, Babbitt as well. So we have, a number of senators that are most certainly saying things which sometimes I'm quite surprised, actually. I mean, there's always the thought that that they're on purpose to keep us quiet, to make us think that we have a voice, when in actual fact it doesn't make any difference anyway. I think perhaps there's an argument for that also. But, at the end of the day, they are in there, they are saying those things, and it is... they do make videos about it, and it does get out there. So again, nothing but truth. If they're in there saying that, I think that's a good thing. A good thing. Some people might argue otherwise, but there's definitely great senators here in Australia. Yeah.
I mean, you can't avoid the truth. When you listen to somebody like Pauline Hanson, I mean, of course, I know the argument saying, okay, so she's just there to make you relax or something. I don't buy this. I think it's just pure bullshit. Nobody would be in that position and say the things that she's saying without paying a price for it. So
she's already been to jail.
Yeah,
she's been. Yeah, so,
there you go. There you go. But I know these people who are saying this. They say, "Oh, no, nobody. You can't trust anybody. You can't like anyone in a position." Well, that's crap. I think, of course, you can like them and respect them and support them. I mean, if I was living in the in Australia, I would support them. Absolutely. You have some very good people there. That I'm sort of I envy you for this, because we don't see them here. They are totally quiet.
It's kind of interesting situation.
But anyway, the politicians will not save us, right?
No.
But I think it's a sign of sanity that you actually have some people in these positions speaking like they do. But no politician will ever save us. Of course, the salvation will come from the people. It has to happen with the people, I think. So, but it's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I think circling back to the conversation we were having about, why people are hibernating and, despite the drip feed, not waking up, and about it being about work within ourselves. Most definitely. Surprise, surprise, the government doesn't love us. The government isn't going to save us, and we do need to do that for ourselves. So,
yes.
Yeah,
exactly. That's also part of this big awakening, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just getting bigger.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
right.
I think it's moving so fast. I just want to say this: it's moving so fast. This awakening, It's an amazing thing that is going on, and I'm very positive about this, of course.
Mm-hmm. So before we move to ending the stream, is there something you'd like to? Is there something else you'd like to add? Something else you'd like to say, Stefan?
I don't know. Maybe one thing. Also, this thing about waking up. I think people are starting to understand that they maybe will need to learn about being self-sufficient, and this is a great thing, I believe. If they start to learn how to grow food and vegetables, food, and this is fantastic, because this would take away their possibility to, if they can control the food, they can control the people. But if people break away from this, learn how to grow things, learn how to get food, create food themselves, this is very, very good, I think. But maybe that's one thing that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, yeah. We
this is coming strong too. This is what I observe, at least. People are becoming much more interested in this. How do you grow stuff? How can you get protein? Things like this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the new endeavors of a lot of people right now is providing for themselves. I know certainly we just got we got some freedom chickens at a rooster. Yes,
Great.
yes. So they're
Wow.
doing really well. They've just started laying eggs. And chooks are wonderful animals. I mean, of course, all animals have their own personality, and you just kind of think, oh yeah, chickens. But then when you get to know them, they're pretty cool animals.
Yeah.
They're great to have.
Can I show you something?
Absolutely. Thank you for all your comments, everybody. It's really amazing. We really do appreciate. I think I can hear baby chickens. Can I hear baby chickens? Oh, look, lovely. So you I think I heard them on one of your shows the other day, Stefan. You're keeping them in the house, the new baby chickens. We could hear them chirping away on one of your episodes a few days ago, I think.
Sorry.
So they're the new baby chickens in the house?
Yeah. Yes, we have them in a box here. In a few days, we will bring them out when they start to smell. Yes.
Fair enough.
But because we are bringing them out to a place where there are some rats, and they need to be able to move quickly, and survive. So a few days more, and they will go out there. Now we have fantastic relationships with our chicken here, and we get a lot, like you do.
Yeah, no, they're great. Yeah, look, even I know certainly in Western Australia, even in the city, you are allowed to have a couple of chooks. So it is possible. You don't have to have acreage. So yeah, beautiful. Well, I'm so happy we got to see one of your chicks, because I heard them in one of your episodes the other day, chirping in the background. So that's great. Yeah. Right. Okay.
All right.
Sorry. Did you want to say something else?
It's just I tell them to be quiet when I do my videos, but they will not listen to me. So soon I will have to bring them out of the room. But this is a great room because it's warm.
It's a bit like all the politicians that haven't been watching and listening to you, Stefan, because if they did, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. That's for sure. So
that's right.
Yep.
It's the truth.
That's right. Yep.
Why try to lie about this? If I was running Sweden, it would be okay.
Yeah.
I know it. And same thing with you. If you were
Yeah.
running things over there, it would be fine.
We'll all get there one day. Well, I want to encourage everybody to support your independent media, your independent content creators. Head on over, especially if you haven't seen Stefan's channel, Sanity for Sweden. Please go along there on YouTube. You're on, where else are you with Sanity for Sweden, Stefan? Can you let everyone know?
I'm on BitChute and Rumble and Twitter. Right.
Yep. So please head along there and subscribe to Sanity for Sweden. As I said, Stefan uploads every day, yeah, topical news items, humorous, making points, giving opinions, and asking his audience questions, which I think is really important, because a lot of the time we just get talked at by channels, but you ask your audience questions as well, which gets them to think, which I really enjoy about watching you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's great.
I haven't been watching you earlier, but when you contacted me, I've been watching your work, and I'm so happy to see it. You know, it's just a pleasure. So, and I said in my video this morning, I really need this this contact with people that, you know, we can exchange ideas, and you know the person is saying, you can say what you want, and it's I really need this, because I've been frustrated for the last 3 years when I lost a lot of friends and people that I know. I lost respect for them.
Yeah.
And so I really need this personally. It's a boost for my spirit. So great job with the channel. And what a great name. I have to say this. Courage is the cure. What a fantastic name this is.
Well, that's I have to say, it's Michael Griffith from Cafe Locked Out. He said, "Fear is the virus, courage is the cure," and that says it all for me. And that just really resonated and stuck in my mind. So thank you, Michael. And for anybody overseas that's watching and you don't know Cafe Locked Out, please go along to Facebook. I will type it here. And follow Cafe Locked Out. Cafe Locked Out. Michael has been traveling around Australia for a couple of years after he was one of our playwrights in Australia, but then lost all of that. Stood up for freedom of speech, and now travels around Australia giving everyday Australians a camera and a microphone to tell their stories, because, as I said to you before, Stefan, the powers that be are trying to erase our history while we're living it. So go along to Cafe Locked Out and follow Michael on Cafe Locked Out. It's quite remarkable what he's doing, and also Roanna. So yeah. All right. So thank you to all the new subscribers sent over from Sanity for Sweden. Thank you, Stefan. I really do appreciate that, and everybody that subscribed.
My pleasure.
And I want to say thank you again, Stefan, for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Very charming, Robin from Perth. It was great talking to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And for all the comments this evening, it's just amazing. So tonight we're going to go out with a West Australian artist, Al Muir. He has supported the West Australian Media Group for some of our events. He has some original spiritual protest songs, and so this is Al Muir. As we've just talked about, fear is the virus, courage is the cure, and Al Muir's song, Be a Peaceful Warrior, Be Brave, I think says it all. So we are going to go out with Al Muir tonight. And once again, thank you very much, Stefan, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Robin. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
San Francisco rain, sweet smelling vegetation pulsing through my veins, oh, pulsing through my veins. Playing my new 6-string on the porch, listening to the sounds of nature, opening up my pores, oh, opening up my pores. Falling down on Mother Earth, I smell the taste in every drop, quenching our thirst, oh, quenching our thirst. What do you need from life to live? In this electronic world, what is it that you miss? What are the things that you crave? Can you shake the brainwash off? Stand up and be brave. Be a peaceful warrior, be brave. Yeah, be a peaceful warrior, be brave. My mouth is dry, my soul does yearn for the simple things in life. Time for me to learn, oh, time for me to learn. Modern life is not the life for me. Food, warmth, good company, I sing songs under a tree. No, modern life is not for me. You need from life to live in this electronic world. What is it that you miss? What are the things that you crave? Can you shake the brainwash off? Stand up and be brave. Be a peaceful warrior, be brave. Yeah, be a peaceful warrior, be